Imagine you're standing in a rift, dishing out massive damage with every shot, your weapons surging with a 25% buff, Radiant granting another 20%, and Sanguine Alchemy stacking on an extra 10%. That's a ridiculous damage increase, melting enemies before they can blink. Now add in La Monarque, which is absolutely shredding this season, non-stop stasis turrets locking down the battlefield, rapid rifts, melee attacks, and transcendence energy that charges your super faster than ever. This isn't just a build, it's an unstoppable force for any high-end PvE activity, as you can see from the background gameplay of one of the toughest Grandmasters in Destiny. Welcome to Insightful Gaming, where we craft the strongest builds to help you dominate Destiny 2. This setup is inspired by an old-school strategy highlighted by Llama, who even showcased a technique using a solar well of radiance before swapping subclasses for an extra 10% damage. If you're into advanced strategies, definitely check him out. In this video, I'll break down every part of this build, from exotics to weapons, abilities, and mods, so you can maximize both your damage and survivability. Chapters are included for easy navigation, and if you want to join the conversation, or my clan, the details and Discord link are down in the description. Stick around, hit that like button, and let's unleash this powerhouse build. At the core of this build is Sanguine Alchemy, an exotic that transforms your rift into a powerhouse of extended damage and endless uptime. Its unique perk, Blood Magic, is where the real magic happens. When you stand in a rift and damage a target, that enemy gets marked. While marked, you deal an additional 10% damage to them. This stacks with everything, meaning it's pure bonus damage on top of your existing buffs. But here's where it gets even crazier. As long as you're standing in your rift, Weapon Final Blows will pause its countdown, letting you extend its duration almost indefinitely. That means more time with boosted damage and longer windows to lock down the battlefield. But the synergy doesn't stop there. If your weapon's damage type matches your equipped super, Sanguine Alchemy grants 4 stacks of Weapon Surge, giving you that 25% damage increase. Pair that with the 10% from Blood Magic and the 20% from Radiant, and you're stacking buffs like crazy. This is why choosing the right super element is crucial for this build. Match it to your main weapons element to maximize the surge effect. With this setup, your rift isn't just a healing zone, it becomes your primary engine for sustained damage and survival. This build's weapon choices are all about maximizing elemental synergy and taking full advantage of Sanguine Alchemy's buffs. Starting with the star of the show, La Monarque. This Void Combat Bow is an absolute monster this season, thanks to its Poison Arrows perk. Precision hits or fully drawn shots poison enemies over time, creating devastating damage over time effects that spread through enemy groups. It's perfect for keeping up that consistent void damage, ensuring Sanguine Alchemy's Weapon Surge is always active and pushing your damage through the roof. Plus, it pairs beautifully with our Void subclass, locking in that extra 25% damage surge while applying consistent pressure to even the toughest enemies. For the kinetic slot, we're running Lost Signal, a stasis grenade launcher that brings utility and speed to the fight. It rolls with auto-loading holster for seamless weapon swaps and Demolitionist, feeding directly into your grenade energy with every kill. Since we're turning our healing grenade into a stasis turret, this weapon accelerates that loop. Quick kills fuel faster grenades, which lock down more enemies, which fuel more Rift Uptime. It's the perfect tool for controlling the battlefield and keeping your ability cycle going strong. In the heavy slot, it's all about the Regnant Heavy Grenade Launcher. This beast rolls with explosive light for massive damage boosts when picking up orbs of power, and auto-loading holster for efficient damage cycling. The key here is elemental alignment. Because Regnant is void, it perfectly syncs with our Nova Bomb super and keeps Sanguine Alchemy's Weapon Surge active. But if you prefer another heavy option, just make sure it matches your super's element. For example, if you swap to an Arc Super, bringing in Queenbreaker is a solid choice to keep the synergy intact. The goal is always the same: maximize your Weapon Surge stacks and crush anything in your path. This build's abilities are all about creating a fast, deadly loop of damage and regeneration. The Nova Bomb, Cataclysm. Super delivers massive void damage and lingering explosions, perfectly syncing with our void weapons to maximize Sanguine Alchemy's weapon surge. Healing Rift is the core of the build. Standing in it marks enemies, granting an extra 10% damage buff, and final blows inside the Rift pause its duration. With aggressive play, you can keep it active indefinitely, turning it into a constant damage and survival zone. Melee is covered by Arcane Needle, providing quick, aggressive strikes that trigger prismatic synergies like Radiant and Unraveling rounds, feeding directly back into your damage cycle. For grenades, we're using Healing Grenade, but with the Bleak Watcher aspect, it transforms into a Stasis turret. It locks down enemies, keeps you alive, and with its short cooldown, you'll be throwing these out constantly. For aspects, we're running Bleak Watcher and Feed the Void. Bleak Watcher turns your Healing Grenade into a Stasis turret, locking down enemies and giving you total control over the battlefield. This pairs perfectly with our rapid grenade regeneration, ensuring there's always a turret up to freeze threats. Feed the Void is the core of your survivability, activating Devour on Void kills. This keeps you alive and continuously regenerating abilities, fueling the endless loop of damage and healing. For Fragments, the build leans into synergy and regeneration. Facet of Dawn grants Radiant on melee kills, adding a 20% weapon damage boost. Facet of Hope accelerates Rift regeneration while you're at full health, keeping Sanguine Alchemy's damage loop alive. Facet of Balance boosts grenade and melee regeneration with each ability use, ensuring rapid ability uptime. Facet of Protection reduces incoming damage when near multiple enemies, enhancing survivability in high-pressure fights. Finally, Facet of Devotion fuels Transcendence energy, helping you reach your super faster and keep the cycle moving. To maximize this build's power, the armor mods focus on ability regeneration, orb generation, and keeping your damage buffs active. On the helmet, we're running Harmonic Siphon to generate orbs of power with void weapon kills, Dynamo to reduce super cooldown when using class abilities near enemies, and Heavy Ammo Finder for consistent heavy ammo drops. For the arms, Focusing Strike grants class ability energy on melee hits. Bolstering Detonation gives Rift energy when your grenades damage enemies, and Momentum Transfer boosts melee energy on grenade hits. Perfect for keeping that ability loop going. The chest is flexible. Slot in your preferred defensive mods like Concussive Dampener or Elemental Resistances to suit the PvE activity you're facing. On the legs, Insulation helps reduce class ability cooldowns when picking up orbs. Recuperation grants health from orbs for extra survivability, and Absolution reduces all ability cooldowns when collecting orbs, feeding directly into the endless loop. Finally, the Warlock Bond runs Bomber for grenade cooldown reduction when using your Rift, Reaper to generate orbs with weapon final blows after using your class ability, and Utility Kickstart for more class ability energy when your Rift energy runs out. For current seasonal mods, pick ones that enhance void abilities and weapon damage. They'll be on screen during the video. This build is all about stacking buffs, freezing enemies, and cycling abilities fast. With Sanguine Alchemy, La Monarque, and constant Stasis turrets, you'll dominate any high-end PvE activity. Stay aggressive, keep your Rift active, and let the buffs do the work. If this build helped, drop a like and subscribe for more. If you have any build ideas, please comment below as I read them all. And don't forget to join the Discord. We've got a helpful community ready to answer questions or help you find fire teams for endgame content. Clan info is in the description too. Stay sharp, stay deadly. This is Insightful Gaming signing off.